So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another review of The Shield Dude on a Couch. And we haven't talked movies in a long time. So, I'm here with Lorenzo. Lorenzo, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? How's it going? How's everybody?
I'm good. I'm well rested. So, that's a hint of the movie that we're going to discuss. So, we are talking about Robert Eggers' version of Nosferatu. Here's the one of the posters that came out. So you have Lily Rose and the Nosferatu hand. I actually saw this movie the day after Christmas on 26. I know you watched it in the New Year, uh,
Yes.
so so Couchers, we're gonna have more content relating to movies, talking newer movies, old movies. So we'll have that content for you. But for this one, obviously, we're talking about Nosferatu, and we are going to talk spoilers. So this movie came out a few weeks ago, so you'll be warned. If you haven't seen it, uh, see it when you see the movie. Yeah, so let's talk about our first thing. First of all, like Lost, because uh had you seen before this movie any of Robert Eggers' movies?
Yes. I remember watching The Witch for the first time and being blown away by by Robert Eggers' meticulous work. All the small details that we don't really usually look at or pay attention to, but that give that the movies something else. I know you didn't mention they transport you to those times where where the movies are taking place. So I have seen these three films, The Witch, The Northman, and The Lighthouse, and now his latest one.
So unlike you, I went to Nosferatu as a Robert Eggers virgin.
Oh, Blind.
Yeah, I went blind. I just heard a lot of like this dude, like Robert Eggers, and I've seen after I watched this movie. Actually, I saw the Lighthouse, so I still
Mhm.
have to see the Witch and the Northman. The Lighthouse was interesting, to say the
It's a
least.
trip.
Yeah,
It's a trip.
yeah. But Nosferatu, obviously, this is a remake of the silent film from what I forgot the name of the
Nin-
director from
1922, I think. F.W.
na-
Murnau.
1922, which clearly is like was a ripoff of Dracula. like
Yes.
like that old
There's no
movie,
questions.
it's the same fucking plot,
Yeah.
only that in Dracula you have Gary Oldman looking all hot. And in this one, uh, you
There's
have
no
a version.
hotness.
Yeah, he's never been hot. But we'll discuss the look later because obviously they changed the look for this one. So the thing is, I went in blind to Robert Eggers to this movie, but I wanted to see it. I thought like, yeah, I'll see it. I actually never seen the original. I've seen clips.
Oh, okay. So I have seen the original, and I saw a while back. I saw I
The
think I saw
19
parts of it. I didn't see the Werner Herzog film. There's another.
in
I think
1979,
in
right?
1970s. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Werner Herzog, which is classic German director, and this is a little bit different. This new one, and I was interested to see because I was interested in the reasons why Robert Eggers would decide to do another version of, there's hundreds and thousands of versions of Dracula. And as a little tidbit, I don't know if you know this, but this movie, the widow of Bram Stoker, sued
Yeah.
sued sued the W. Murnau and the production company, and the courts gave her, they decided for Bram
Yeah,
Stoker's wife, because it's
I think they
obviously a
destroyed the
ripoff.
movie, right?
They ordered all the copies of this movie, the original one, to be destroyed, but it had already been sent internationally, and there was really no way for the courts in Germany to, you know in the 1920s, to get to the US or to England, and destroy the copies of everybody else. So
It's
the movie
wild.
survived because of that, which is,
Well,
I think it's fascinating.
it is fascinating. But she did have a point, but they could say, no, it's not Dracula. Nosferatu basically is the ugly brother of Dracula.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. It's like if Dracula, the unsexy brother of Dracula.
It's it's like twins. When you had Arnold and Danny DeVito, they're supposed to be twins, but they don't look alike. Even though I do not think Arnold is good looking. But yeah. So yeah, I went in blind to this, but I knew that story about it, and I've seen so many vampire movies, but I'm glad they brought in a movie about a vampire that doesn't sparkle.
True.
And like because in the last 20 years they made, they crucified, they really destroyed the image of a vampire. Like they made it like so lame that I'm glad they brought back. I was watching like Robert Eggers talk, like he wanted something more close to the folklore of
Hmm.
like what people thought that a vampire would look like, and it kind of makes sense. It's supposed to be a dead dude,
Yeah,
like
basically, yes.
yeah,
It,
why
it's a corpse. It's
it's a corpse that talks, so it's more
yeah,
sophisticated than a zombie.
true. It's more sophisticated than a zombie, but basically a zombie in the sense that it's a dead thing.
A dead thing. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, my first what were your first impressions like when you went in the movie theater where and you watched the movie and got out?
My first impression was, um I think it's Robert Eggers does a good job of doing atmosphere. It's the setting, there's some really interesting takes that he uses, and the sound design was great. I thought it was a lot of very good technical skill. Um, but I wondered what exactly did it bring to the table that the original and the Herzog version didn't already bring. What was new about it? Um, that was basically my first impression.
Yeah. You know something that's interesting too, that William Dafoe is in this movie, and he had a movie called Shadow of the Vampire, which
Yeah,
basically is a making of the original movie.
yeah, yeah. He played the actor who played the original
Yeah.
um the original movie. Yeah, yeah, the Count Orlok, the original Count Orlok.
Yeah. So I found that fascinating that they came back. So yeah, so my first impressions when I saw it, at first the pacing, I was a little bored at first. I'm not gonna lie. I
Mm.
was like, oh, this is like very slow. And I was surprised that even though the movie's not in black and white, the way they use the shadows, it looked awesome. Like especially there was a scene that my jaw dropped is when the I can't remember the name of the character, the husband of
Uh,
of
Thomas,
of
I think.
yeah, Thomas of Lily Rose Depp. He's going into Count Orlok's castle and he's in the
Oh
road
yeah,
and the carriage comes in. Like that cinematography, I'm like, this looks gorgeous. Uh like like
it's
like I was wowed with how vivid of a painting of how it looked.
it's
Uh
amazing. The way because that's what I liked about it. It's mostly I mean, we're talking about a movie about a vampire. So,
A
it's not
Nosferatu.
that grounded, but most of it, there's no turning into a bat or you know the silly things that there's no garlic or stuff like that. But there was I that scene you're talking about. There's this sense of dread that's that technically it's wonderful because it's the music, it's how that scene was shot. It's very because whenever they're at the castle, at castle where I don't remember the name of the castle, but it feels otherworldly. It feels like a fever dream.
It should have been called Castlevania. To everyone that's played video games. But yeah, I know it felt it really I really did feel like this was a castle with a vampire. It sold it to me. Like the
Yeah.
feel. And you know what? Let's talk about Skarsgård's voice as Count
Okay.
Orlok, because I think that was I saw interviews that he worked with a vocal coach and singing coach to get his voice like that. What do you thought of that?
I mean, at first it was a little bit, of a I was taken aback a little bit at first. I'm not gonna lie. After a while, I went with it. I was like, you know, this is a dead person. He's not gonna sound all sweet and dulcet tones, and he's probably not gonna be a poet either. So I was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna sound weird if we're talking about a folkloric vampire. So I was like, okay, I'll buy into it. I'll leave it.
Yes.
What do you think? I don't know. What was your
So
thoughts?
at at first I thought it was kind of funny, like the way it like, you will remain well rested because it's a bad woman.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I thought it was kind of it's cool. And the guy, I don't know, like I feel like he's going to be typecast forever as a monster because he
I
played Pennywise and now he's
yeah.
playing Count Orlok. So it's and unfortunately he also fucked up the crow.
I have not seen that.
I have not seen it, but I can tell you, just watching the trailer alone, maybe we should see it to discuss that movie at some
Are we
time.
doing an isn't that bad, but with movies?
And is it that no, we could compare the original to the new one, like
Oh yeah.
talk about that in a few that people vote if you want to see that. So I thought that it was interesting. And the other elephant in the room was the mustache.
The mustache. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, again, it looks kind of weird, but after I heard, you know, that's what I mean. If this is supposed to be a person who lived in
Accurate.
that
Yeah.
era, it's accurate. That's
Yeah,
if
it's
I
I
might
read
not
that it was, yeah,
I
it's
might not
accurate.
love
It's
how it
yeah.
looks, but it's accurate to what dude in that era in that place would wear. So I was like, again, I maybe I'm giving a lot of leeway because there's actual explanations for these decisions, but I mean, it looks weird.
Yeah,
It looked
it's
weird to me.
obviously it's inspired by Vlad the Impaler, who was
Mhm.
from that era and had that type of
Yeah.
mustache. But you know what's funny? I just think that now every goth boy is going to have the mustache.
Hey, who knows?
And they're going
Maybe
to be embarrassed, like, "Will you sleep with me? I am well rested."
I don't know. I'm not sure that's gonna be trending. very soon.
You make the mustache happen. So yeah, the look to me, because I had seen, I felt like he's gonna look like the other ones, but I gotta say, like, I gotta applaud Robert Egger for like taking a chance and doing something different. A lot of people had made fun of that mustache and like we put them off, but I thought it looked creepy. Uh,
He looked creepy. I mean, I believe if he would have done the something similar to the original, the very skinny, very pale, egg-headed thing with the long fingers. If he would have done that the same, people would have been not buying it at all.
no, I agree. People would be like, "Oh my God, this has been done before to death." So yeah, I thought the look was cool. Uh, what like what do you think of the opening scene of the movie?
The opening scene, as in the you know
Yeah, when when
the
when when Lily
dream.
Rose Depp is like, please, anybody, come. I'm so alone. I'm so horny. Please come to me. And then what happens? He comes to her and she's so freaked out. I'm like, bitch, like
You,
you summoned him.
I mean, it's one of those things. Sometimes you ask for something, and then it arrives, and it's a a
Yeah,
dead
it's like
corpse
yeah.
vampire thing.
It it reminds me of when 50 Shades of Grey came out, and then every girl was like, "Oh yeah, we're so into this." And on the first butt slap, they're like, "Nope." like, like, I didn't ask for this. I'm like, eh. But yeah, I thought the opening scene. Uh, I gotta be honest. I think Lily Rose Depp is the worst thing in this movie.
Okay.
I want to ask. I think she's. I don't. Well, have you seen The Idol on HBO? She had
No,
a
I have
series on
not.
it. The acting there is atrocious, and
Mm.
so I don't know. I just thought her. Yes, her acting was so. Like a lot of people say it's the best acting of the movie, like because of her physicality, the scenes where she gets all possessed and stuff. But on this, I don't know. It's yes, physicality. Jim Carrey could have done that as well, like all the faces and stuff. And that doesn't mean that she's a great actress because on the other scenes where she's not doing that, she was atrocious. Like I couldn't like oh Thomas, please don't leave. I'm so frail. I'm so alone.
Yeah, I
And
still don't really buy her
mm,
as much as maybe some people. I agree that the physicality of the role was well done, but
yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know
just
if
look,
I bought.
just look at this picture, man.
I don't know if I bought the emotional connection between her and Thomas, or her and Count Orlok.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think Nicholas Hoult was fantastic.
Oh yeah. I was gonna praise him. I thought he great. I think he and Count Orlok are the best things in this movie, and William
Willem
Dafoe.
Dafoe,
Yeah.
yes, agreed. I think Willem Dafoe stole every scene he was in.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe it's just that it was so based on the physicality that I
Yeah, but it's
didn't.
funny when I look at this without context, it looks like she stepped on a Lego. She's
I
like,
mean,
you
I would probably
Lego.
make that same face as if I step on a Lego without
Yeah.
shoes too.
But this scene in the movie is quite interesting because she's doing all that shit, and the Nicholas Hoult character is like, yeah, I'm gonna, I'm going to hit that. I'm like, you gotta be like real. into some really kinky shit when she's like, ah, and he's like, yeah, baby, you know what I like? And then she's like, let him see our love, let him see. And I'm like,
Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
there's some, I mean, it's been like this since the first Dracula, since Dracula was written. You
Yeah,
know, vampire movies are have these sexual undertones
yeah.
and so it had to be there.
But at
There
least
had to be the
Nicholas, yeah,
sexual undertone
they had to be.
undertone.
They had to be. But at least Nicholas Hoult, you could understand him because that's one thing better than Bram Stoker's Dracula because Keanu Reeves in a British
Oh,
accent,
yeah, no.
like
Yeah.
it was terrible, yo. Like
Yeah, he
love
was
Keanu
he was
Reeves,
not
but
great.
no, it was terrible. It was terrible. But yeah, Nicholas Hoult was great in this, and William Dafoe in a shorter role. He just everything he's in, he's so great. I don't know why, but he plays like madness or eccentric in a great way. And I think
Oh yeah.
Lily Rose Depp was trying to do, yes, the physicality thing. Yeah, I had even like a headache watching her like doing that stuff. But that scene also when she's like, "You could never please me like he pleases me." So yeah,
I think Willem Dafoe also has that face for madness.
oh yeah,
he can express it very well, and he just grabbed that role and just made it his own. I loved his performance. His lines. There's a line I don't remember about Charles Darwin. I think I don't remember the line right now, but I was like, that's insane. So,
yeah.
but I liked his character as well because besides his performance, which I think is fantastic, I like that they made this character probably the only one that could really understand what was happening. There was
Yeah.
somebody who understood because even though Nicholas Hoult was, trying and the doctor was also trying to figure it out, none of them really believed how, he was Willem Dafoe's character was the one who figures it out, right? He's the one that's like, oh yeah, this is something that's beyond our physical understanding. So I thought they played him, they used him very well for the story, and which is a change from the other versions, which the people who are supposed to help aren't very helpful at all.
Yeah, I know that the thing with the when Count Orlok finally travels to that made-up town in Germany, he brings the plague with him.
Yeah.
Uh uh because and he gives her 3 days. And I found this online and I'm like, yeah, this describes that. If I cannot have sex, billions must die of plague.
I mean, it's kind of, incel, the first incel,
Yeah.
the vampire incel.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So let's talk about like things that you didn't like in the movie.
I'm not sure I'm not sure I hated anything.
Mhm.
I think maybe it should have been a little bit shorter. I think you could probably have,
And
trimmed.
there's a longer version coming, and I'm
I
like,
know, I know.
what
Maybe
more?
maybe you could have trimmed 15 minutes, maybe. And I think it would have worked just as well. Um, besides that, I think most of it worked for me. I think it's a well done movie technically. I didn't love Lily Rose Depp's acting, but I didn't think she was awful. But I don't have a lot bad to say about the movie. So I don't know what were your thoughts?
So
That.
I already saw that Lily Reese Rose Depp. I didn't enjoy her acting. Yes, the
Yeah.
physicality, but besides that, I didn't think her acting was good. But there's another stinker in acting in this movie, and that is the guy who's playing Craven the Hunter. What the hell is his name?
Oh, you mean Aaron Taylor
Aaron,
Johnson?
yes, he's so
The
he look
friend,
he
the friend of the.
yeah, he looked like the Monopoly guy. Yeah, I
I,
don't know. I didn't buy him, especially in the scene where his wife dies and their daughters die, and
yeah,
I didn't feel his pain. I don't know.
yeah, it was a little bit stiff. Now that you mention it, I think I glossed that one over,
Yeah.
because it was such a minor character. But
You
I
could take
agree.
him away from the movie
Yeah, yeah,
because even William Dafoe, who's less screen time than him, is important to the plot. But that
yeah,
dude, the only thing that they do is that they they keep really Lily Rose Depp, and she's like sedated, and he's like, he's coming, and they're like, who the hell is coming? Like,
yeah. And
uh,
I think basically he's mostly there to be the skeptic, the main
yeah,
skeptic. So because I Nicholas Holt's character, even though he knows because he experienced, the castle and all that, he's still doubtful about, the supernatural entities and all that. But this guy is like the, oh no, I don't believe in any of this. She's just crazy. She's just, hysteric, you know. And he's that person who gets his comeuppance because he doesn't believe anything at all. But I agree with you that I thought that storyline could have had that plot line could have had more emotional depth.
yeah. Uh, and there's even in a movie as serious as this, there was a funny line that I remember at the beginning of the movie when Nicholas Hoult character is in his job where he's summoned to go get Count Orlok. The dude who happens to be his henchman tells him like
To knock.
he, he has one foot in the grave. And everyone in the movie theater, there was like a chuckle because you knew he was dead. So I'm like, at least a little bit of humor uh,
Oh
in
yeah.
this movie. Uh, so yeah, I think my favorite thing about this movie, I think, is the way it was shot. It looks great.
Oh, I
Uh,
love how it looks.
I think there's some good acting in it. Yeah, the story, like obviously, it's a story that's being retold like a bunch of fucking times.
Yeah.
Uh, so I was reading that compared to his other movies, this one is his weakest. Uh,
I
I'm just
I
seeing two,
would
so I don't know.
I would probably agree with that. I don't think it's bad at all, but I think it's when you compare it with his other work, I personally prefer his other three movies better than this one.
I gotta see the other two, but I'm telling you, The Lighthouse was strange as fuck.
Oh, it's insane. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and I didn't
If
know
you
what was
wanna
gonna
if you wanna
happen.
see Willem Dafoe really go crazy,
Yeah,
that's the movie to
yeah,
watch.
because I knew what was gonna happen in Nosferatu, and
Yeah, yeah.
also I think this is the first vampire movie when we see a penis, like like a corpse penis, and we're like, why do we need to see this?
Hey,
But
equality, man. Yeah,
the
there's gonna be some breasts. You need some
yeah,
penis.
so let's talk about the ending scene of this movie, the scene that for me uh, inspired abstinence. Like when I saw that scene, so obviously, if you haven't seen the movie, let me paint a picture. So the thing is that when Count Orlok gets to the town in Germany, he visits Lily Rose Depp, but in order to be with her, suck her blood or whatever, she needs to comply. She's like, "You have to be willing," but he gives her free nights, just like Ursula. gave the Little Mermaid 3 nights. I don't know. I think if you give them one night, it's too short. 2 nights, like come on, 2 nights, but 3 nights, that's I think that's enough time for her to think like, do I
It's
want to
reasonable.
get sucked by this living corpse? Uh so like first of all, who did you go see this movie with in the movie theater?
Well, I was with my girlfriend.
Oh, good, because if it was a first date, it would have been uncomfortable.
Oh no. No.
I went alone to see this. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, I was just looking at it alone. Uh, so at the end of the movie, like when he comes, uh, I wasn't sure. Like I know he sucks her blood, but I saw some frosting. I'm like, is he fucking her? Some people say no, but I don't know.
No, I don't think there's any, sexual intercourse going on. I mean, it's symbolic, obviously.
It's symbolic, yeah,
Uh, yeah, I think it's just the way he moves looks like it. It's like a
yeah,
thrusting movement. The way because I think maybe I don't know. This is me making stuff up. If Robert Eggers is such a guy that's very into the details, I would imagine he would be like, oh yeah, this is a corpse, so he needs to suck hard, in order
yeah,
to. So that's what I think. He needs to do the whole body thing, so in order to get the blood out. I
yeah.
don't know, but it. I mean, I'm sure it's on purpose as well. It looks like there's a sexual act going on, but I don't think there's an actual physical thing.
I just think Lily Rose, this whole movie looked like she was horny, like the whole time. Like
Hey, I
she was
may
like, yeah,
probably.
yeah. I like it that at least it wasn't on the neck like every bump, like
Yeah,
because you have more blood here. So I thought that was like really cool and original. But like it's funny because he's sucking her blood and he's having so much fun, and he forgets. Oh, it's going to be daylight, but obviously
yeah.
that's also the ending of the original,
It's the
which
same. Yeah.
proves a point. Any man will forget any curfew if he's horny.
I mean, I can't argue with that.
You'll forget time. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is time? I don't know. But at the ending, I think everyone in the movie theater was like, oh, are they gonna show? Because then obviously the light comes and
Oh
he's like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he dies, and obviously she dies because he has sucked all the blood out of her. But then they come and there's the symbolism of the flowers that they use in the whole movie, which apparently
Hmm.
have some symbolism that I was reading about. But that shot where she's like laying down and you see the corpse on top of her naked, and he had such skinny legs that I felt I have skinny legs, and I felt like, man, that dude skipped leg day at the gym
Oh yeah.
forever.
He was like, I think he was like hundreds of years old, and he did not do a day of leg day in his life.
He's like,
In
I
his
just
life, if in his lifetime or his after lifetime.
oh, but that seeing a buddy of mine from work actually saw the movie the same day, and I'm like, what do you think of the last scene? And he was like, I saw it with my 17-year-old son, and I'm like, it was the most awkward thing. And he was
Oh
like, when
no.
is this ending? I'm like, I'm sure they had a nice father and son talk, but I told him, dude, he's 17. I'm
I
sure
mean,
he's done stuff. Like, but yeah,
probably.
that last scene, it was just so gross.
I
Where,
mean, it's very very gothic horror. I mean, it's on par for that kind of you know that kind of movie and that kind of
yeah.
those kind of themes that they were playing with. But it was like, okay, you're gonna end with this. This is what I leave the theater with in my head.
Yeah. I remember I
You know.
texted my girlfriend and she was like, I have the best commercial for abstinence ever. Like, just show this to kids, like this this is gonorrhea. That's the worst STD ever. But yeah, that was the ending of the movie. So yeah, I think it's a little bit too long. The movie, it looks great, and I think the authenticity. I really just a few nitpicks, but if we had like the ratings that we can for this is like, would you a is this a movie that you need to watch in the movie theater? B, watch it on streaming, or C, wait for it on cable TV, where they'll have to cut most of the parts,
Or
uh,
just not watch it at all.
or just not watch it at all. What would you pick?
I would say, since it looks so good and the sound design helps for the atmosphere and for the immersion, I would say watch it at the movie theater. I don't think it's, like I said, I don't think it's the best Robert Eggers work, but I still think it's a very good, gothic horror film. And I would I would definitely, maybe not watch it in the theater again, but I'll definitely watch it again when it comes out.
What did your girlfriend think?
She liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would also. I thought this is cinema. This is a movie to see
Mm.
in the like in the big. Even though I didn't see it in IMAX, I'm like, this would have looked so
Oh,
cool in IMAX. I watched it on a CXC, but on an
okay.
IMAX, it would have been great because it's visually stunning movie. Everything looks great. Some acting is over the top, but it's also a movie about a dead human being who's basically, this is the plot line of the movie. Uh, Dead uh, vampire is obsessed with married woman. That's basically it. That's the one syllable review.
The
Dead
one,
vampire
yeah,
obsessed with a woman that's married.
basically.
It's a it's basically a reggaeton song. They always I'm sorry, I'm insulting the movie. People be like, how dare you? Because in their songs, there's always like they don't want the one that they're with, they want the one that's with his friend. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
It's almost there. But yeah, the movie is visually stunning. It looks great. So I'm glad I saw it in the movie theater. Now I want to see I want to see The Northman and The Witch. I saw The Lighthouse, and I couldn't. I'm like, what the hell am I? I'm like, like, am I seeing here? Like, it was like the perfect two men going mad. There was one time that I kid you not that I thought that Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe were going to make out. I was like, oh, please no.
Oh yeah. I yeah, there's some homoerotic thing going on
Yeah, I
there
was like,
in that
please
movie.
no, but it didn't happen. But yeah, but we want to know from you, Couchers, what did you think of Nosferatu? Have you seen it? Comment what are your favorite things from the movie? What things didn't you like? And also let us know if you like this type of content of talking more about movies. I mean, it's not going to be as immediate as music because first of all, I have kids, and most of the movies I see is not Nosferatu. Like I will go see Moana 2 or something like shit like that, and I don't want to do a video on any of those movies. So, uh, but yeah, we'll do more content with this, and obviously, Lorenzo, thank you for agreeing to this because I've been trying to get more movie content in the channel. So Lorenzo he doesn't have a YouTube channel. Uh,
Nope.
so just I tell him, do you want him back? He's been on other videos in the channel as well. And he's in that bad of movies. That would be a good one. Uh, yeah, but yeah, I want to talk older movies as well. So
Yeah,
uh,
I'm up for it.
Yeah, and obviously coming this weekend for the Shield Dude on a Couch, we have a brand new Is It That Bad with the return of the Green Man, and we're gonna talk about Killswitch Engage 2009's self-titled record, which got mixed reviews, and we're doing it because there's a brand new Killswitch Engage album coming out. So tell us what movies would you like us to talk about? Comment down below. So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.